All right, guys, it's Cop Cutlass. I'm out in the garage today because I'm cleaning. If you guys remember in previous vlogs, episodes, whatever you guys want to call them, I had my cherry picker over here, a bunch of stuff. I moved it all back to where it was supposed to be. My buddy's 347 is still on the stand. We're holding off on that. He's got kid number 2 on the way, and I've been busy with personal things. The biggest thing being, I think the last time I released a video, I didn't mention anything, but I have switched shops. So the last 2 weeks have been, on the weekends, getting stuff out of the shop where I was at, because I did have quite a few things there that I had to bring back here, and I also, like this engine, that had to come here. There was just a lot of things that needed to get done. In the last 2 weeks, I haven't done a whole lot. Obviously, the last time you guys saw my last video, if you've been following, I got the cylinder heads on. I talked about how I needed intake gaskets so I can port match the intake. And then once that's done, that engine's really ready to come together. But one of the biggest curveballs that I'm going to have in switching shops is the readily availableness of a trailer, which I don't mind buying a trailer at all. But at the same time, our drive to the track is only like 40 minutes. And to be honest with you, unless we're going to run Indy or somewhere far, I really don't care for it. So I could rent the trailer for Indy. I may go back to driving the car to the track. Why? Because this thing is fully capable on the street. It idles great. It drives great. I would probably need to put a taller set of tires in the back. I would probably end up putting like a set of 31-inch tall truck tires that would definitely fit in the back on a stock rally wheel or something, on a 15 by 10 Steely or something, just to get it to the track and lower the RPMs a bit. But there's no reason why this car can't drive to the track 40 miles. I mean, early on with the old engine, I used to drive it a lot, and then I really don't find like happiness in driving my cars on the street. I like racing them. And we're close enough to where if something happens, I still have access to other trailers to get my car home, and it's not an issue at all. So, but I do want a trailer and I don't want a trailer. It's a really hard toss-up. It's not even a money thing. It's just a matter of like, what do I want to do? Because the last few years, I've been able to tow my car to the track because my boss was kind enough to let me use his trailer the last 4 or 5 years. But it's always work. It's like load up all the tools into the Suburban, load up the car, strap it down. You got to be ready. It's like I have room in the back here for all my tools. And then maybe I'll make a little hitch and go drag week style and just put my slicks in the back, and that's it. And there's guys actually at the track who do that. And that to me is actually quite appealing, because then we can say we have a true street car, as far as like my car has gone away from being mainly street driven to mainly track driven over the last couple of years. But the nice thing is that with my new job, I do have a small commute. It's not very long at all. It's like a 20-minute, if that, commute. So probably when it warms up, we're going to start driving this car a lot more, which that kind of makes me happy. Working closer to home always made it a hassle to drive this car because I had to move cars. But once I start regularly driving it, I'll just probably park the Suburban in here and just leave this in the driveway and just drive it. Because this thing gets the same fuel economy as the Suburban. It's actually quite happy with the 342 gear and 600 CFM carb. And this thing just runs good. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take off the transmission and go back through it. There was a couple of things that I wanted to go back over. I think I'm going to end up buying a new shift kit for the gasket, because the gasket comes specifically cut for the shift kit. And I think the last time I reused it, I didn't put it in properly. And the 1 to 2 shift has always been kind of soggy, but I also screwed up the intermediate stack, which I talked to you guys about that a long time ago. But I'm like, whatever, we'll find out what it looks like when I take it apart. I think the time has come now. And I do have to do some bracing on the crossmember, because when I did the framework, it's kind of, I wouldn't call it shoddy, but it was definitely hillbilly engineering, which is me at my best. So moving forward, we're almost near the tail end of January. February is going to be short, and March is going to be work. Most of March is going to be work because our racing season starts at the end of April. So we got like 2 months to get the car ready. I talked about caging it, but at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. To be honest with you, I think I'm going to have to just figure out how to make the car slower, and or probably just buy a restrictor plate to stick on the car and run it at like 12.0 all year, which is great. I'll probably do low RPM shifting and run it out the back. So really, I mean, things are pretty good. I cleaned up. You could see I have an obsession with wheels. Those are my 15x8 center lines, which those slicks have to get mounted on. I got my tubes down there. And I ended up with 2 timing lights. I forgot that. I thought I threw that one out. So I've never fouled out plugs in my life. And quick tip, if you guys are like tuning on your car and you're getting a bad spark signal, check your spark plugs. If they look like shit, then that means that it's not the timing light, it's the spark plugs. So that's why I bought like a nice snap-on Blue Point. Well, Blue Point is snap-on, it's just a lower line timing light, that one's way nicer too. So that's way nicer. But so I ended up with 2. Those got to go in the basement. You know, and then I dug out those Ford guide plates to try on the cylinder heads, and I'll make a little video on that. But for now, just stay tuned. We got stuff, you know, I got these core engines up here. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Somebody is interested in the number 7 cylinder heads that are on there. I have 2 pairs. But that earlier 350, that's back there, or later 350 has the smaller dish CC pistons. So I may pull all the tricks to get some compression out of it. I got a nice cam, and I actually would like that engine for the Pontiac. And I am half tempted to just run the Pontiac in Sportsman this year, because this would be the ultimate car to drive to the track and race. And it would allow me to cage the car. And that's a thought I've put a lot of thinking into. It would actually probably be the cheapest to build a low buck engine and just tool this car to the track and back. And that's what I used to do for years. And I actually missed that. It was a lot of fun. And it says a lot about, you know, your gear and how well it's put together. And I was always able to drive my cars to the track and back. And I've never had anything blow up. Obviously, we've caught a lot of things, if you guys have seen, like if you guys remember the shifted spool in the car, and you know, we've caught some pretty things that could have been really, really bad. We've gotten lucky, but I think part of it also has to do with constantly and diligently checking things before races, and that's important, guys. So never take safety for granted. Always check your cars. Don't just assume that they're good to go because the last race it was good. So either way, I'll let you guys go. I'm going to post this video up. I just kind of want to let you guys know what was going on as far as projects, everything out here. We're pretty clean. We're pretty set. I helped my buddy Tim out with his 351 Windsor yesterday. We degreed his camshaft at pushrod length. We found a couple of issues with his timing gear, and we came up with a really old school solution to the problem, and you know, saved him some money, saved him some hassle, saved him some time. And then, you know, we're going to be building his Ford 88 in the garage, or either at his place or my place for his Mustang. So if you guys have seen the videos, you guys have seen his blue Mustang. I've known him since, you know, I've known him over, you know, probably 20 years at this point. You know, and so I've been helping him out, and that's been pretty cool because I got nothing going on really besides my engine, and that thing's going to get going as soon as I get my gasket. So I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and we'll keep you guys posted on things. And I am going to make a small video on those adjustable rocker arm, on those adjustable push rod guide plates. So we'll let you guys go.